What's up, everyone? It is time for my NBA trend report for Wednesday, November 29th. Let's get right to it. As always, guys, please never make a bet based on any single trend. If you're using trends as part of your handicapping process, I recommend that you look at what you feel are the relevant trends for each game and weigh them out and see if they weigh out more heavily one way or the other. For our first trend today, we are going to look at the 76ers. We're going to go back to March 15th of this year. So basically the tail end of the last regular season plus the playoffs and into this regular season when they are an away favorite and the line is greater than or equal to -6, which means as long as they're a road favorite of -6 or fewer points. And the total for the game is greater than 210. So let's hit the SDQL button. You'll see the Sixers are a perfect 8-0 straight up and against the spread, covering the spread by an average of about 10.4 points per game. And this is active tonight. The Sixers, a small road favorite against the Pelicans. So let's move right into trend number 2. And guys, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the bell so that you get notified as soon as I drop one of these trend reports on this channel. For our next trend, we're going to go back to, and it says season greater than 2021. So we're looking at basically this season and last season. If I put greater than or equal to 2022, which is what I normally do, it would be the same thing. And we're looking at the Magic when they are on a streak of greater than or equal to 3, and that is referring to straight up wins. So they have won at least their last 3 games straight up. We'll hit the SDQL button, and you can see that the Magic are a perfect 9-0 against the spread, covering the spread by an average of 12.5 points per game. And this is active tonight, the Magic at home against the Wizards. So let's move right to trend number 3. And if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up to like this video. I would really appreciate you doing that. For this next one, we're going to again go back to last season. We're going to look at the Utah Jazz when they are a dog, so capital D for dog or underdog. And their opponent is from the Southwest Division. So opponent's division equals Southwest. We'll hit the SDQL button. And you'll see that despite being an average underdog of +5.5, Utah is 8-4 straight up and 12-0 against the spread, covering the spread by about 8.5 points per game. This is active tonight. The Jazz on the road as a dog against the Grizzlies. And again, so they were +5.5 on average and still won 8 out of 12 games. So they might be worth a money line play tonight as well, in addition to taking the points. So let's go to trend number 4. And guys, if you have any trends or situational angles that you'd like me to look up for today's games, drop those in the comments and I'll get to them this afternoon when I can. Also, if you found any situational angles, trends that are active for tonight's NBA games, drop those in the comments as well. We would all love to see them. For this next one, we are going to go back to November 19th of 2021. We're going to look at the Nuggets. We're going to look at the Nuggets when they're at home. And they're taking on an opponent that averages giving up 108 or less points per game. And I somehow managed to move that around. That's correct. So it's opponent's average and then opponent's points less than or equal to 108. So this is a Nuggets when they're facing a team that is allowing 108 or less points per game. And the line for this game is either greater than 2 or the line is less than -2, which basically that means the line is not between the twos. So they're either an underdog of more than 2 points or they are a favorite of more than 2 points. And we'll hit the SDQL button. And you can see that the over-under is a perfect 13-0. 13 overs, no unders. These games went over by an average of 17.6 points per game. Now, in the right-hand column here, you can see there was one overtime period. And I believe when I looked, there were 30 points scored in that overtime period. So even if you factor that in, this over margin is still going to be better than 15 points per game, probably somewhere around 15.25 points per game. And you can see that this is active tonight, the Nuggets at home against the Rockets. Real quick SDQL lesson here. The reason why I put the line greater than or line less than -2 in the parentheses is that because if I remove the parentheses, it changes the query to the point where, and it's a pretty drastic change. If you look, now it's referencing over almost 30,000 games. So that's why I put the parentheses around the or statement. The line is one thing or the line is another, or else it messes up the query. So that brings us to our fifth and final trend for the day, and this one is not actually a trend. It is a league-wide angle that I did yesterday, and it was popular. The league-wide angle I did yesterday was popular, so I decided to do one again today, and I'll get to that in just a second. Guys, first, I got to tell you, I am number one all-time at WagerTalk in profit from 5% college basketball plays. 5% is the highest rating. You can get my 5% college basketball max bet tonight on my page right now at dbbets.com. It's right there at the top on the right-hand side, and you can see that I am number one all-time in not only profit from 5% college basketball plays, but I'm also number one all-time at WagerTalk in profit from college basketball totals that are rated 4% or 5%. Also number one all-time at WagerTalk in profit from college basketball first half totals. I have a 5% college basketball max bet first half total going tonight. You can get it right now on my page at dbbets.com. So let's wrap this up with the league-wide angle of the day. And for this, we're going to look at games where the total is greater than 211. The team's previous game, they were an underdog. And in that previous game, when they were an underdog, they won outright by double digits. So the previous margin was greater than or equal to 10. Their opponent was at home for each of their last two games. And that opponent won those last two home games, each by double digits. That is the scenario we're looking at here, and we are going to hit the SDQL button. And you can see that the over-under is 1-19. 1 over, 19 unders. These games stayed under by an average of 8.5 points per game. And if you look in the right-hand column, there were actually 2 overtime games that would, if it wasn't for those overtime periods, it would push that 8.5 point margin up into double digits. So this is clearly a very solid league-wide angle. And you can see that it is active tonight on the Wizards Magic game. So you might want to look at the under in that one. That is going to do it for today, guys. Again, don't forget to head over to dbbets.com, grab my 5% college basketball max bet, my first one of the college hoop season. And as always, best of luck on all of your wagers today.